the president of Arica, which I know a lot of you also have heard from. He's actually been on our Zooms, just as such an inspirational guy. We heard from Brent Willis, who is our new fearless leader over all things RX, and he shared and cast an enormous vision of where we're going. He had a standing ovation for several minutes when he got off stage. The place erupted. He was so inspirational. And of course, our own Brent Palmer, he shared and cast an enormous vision on what was happening. So I just want you to know, we have just gotten back from this tremendous event, and this is going to happen in Africa. This is going to happen in Africa. And we are going to have an event like this that you are going to be able to go to and celebrate, but you are on the ground level right now of something truly, truly remarkable. So we're going to go ahead, and if Ann, did you already start the recording? I see that you have. So I am looking for one of our special guests, and I just, does anyone see Brent Willis on here right now? I do not see Brent. So we are going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to introduce you to our special guest, someone that you guys have grown to love and know. This is a training call. So many of you have already jumped into the opportunity with RX Africa. You're already there. You are on the ground casting a vision for those. But we have made what I call a pivot, okay? I learned Nancy. Now you want to say the word pivot, because that is a word that is, we are pivoting. We are in a pre-launch to take this company all over South Africa and beyond. And these are very exciting times. Just recently we were on a Zoom when one of the leaders said, people pay huge amounts of money to be able to get in at this ground level. And so you have the opportunity to just get some products, start drinking them, start experiencing your own transformation, because the day is coming where the whole country of Africa is going to be open, and you are going to be at the ground level. And so I want to introduce you to someone that many of you know and love, and you've come to know and love of him. I've worked with Brent Palmer for 6.5 years here, building many teams extremely successfully here in the United States. Brent Palmer, you will recognize, he has a different kind of accent than me. He's a good old Southern boy, so he fit in super well in Texas. But Brent has opened other markets around the United States. Brent has opened markets that have exploded, and he knows a lot about what happens during a pre-launch and how to make this time incredibly important. And so I want to introduce to you someone that I love. I have utmost respect. You are in the best hands with a leader like Brent Palmer. And he is going to share with you today on how to a new age launch and what that looks like in this pre-launch, and how to build your teams right now, today. Right time, right place. Mr. Brent Palmer.
Tammy, thank you so much, and thank you for your leadership. And hello, everybody. I like to give big waves on Zooms. I want you to feel like I'm sitting with you at a table. And I know Brent Willis has just joined us. So, Tammy, if you will, I want to set the stage and then turn it back to you. And then I'll come back on, because I want to respect Brent Willis's time too as our CEO. And I know he's running all over the place, because New Age and all that we're doing with New Age RX is just absolutely on fire. And I want you to think about something today, okay? As you're tucked away, almost like I'm sitting across the table from you, in a very serious conversation, I want to take you to a place that most of us, every one of us knows, and it's has to do with Apple. It has to do with this phone. And I want you to think about, there was a time knowing what you know today, if you could go back in time and pre-launch the first ever Apple iPhone, if you could go back in time and grab that stock at where it was, knowing what you know today, you would be praying that that stock stayed low. You'd wake up in the morning and go, please, I hope no one's found out about this opportunity so I can get more involved. So I can get more involved. I can get more into the opportunity. Because today we look at that stock after splitting 5 times, and it's created generational wealth for a few. Okay? And then that few turned to a lot. But there were a lot of people that missed out on that. But it was a pre-launch at one time. Let me tell you, you're a part of Africa. You're a part of a pre-launch where there will become a day in the future that you will look back on the pre-launch and the things that I'm going to give you later to do now. Like, you're going to look back on this moment in time and go, man, if that pre-launch would just stay here longer, if it would have just stayed longer, so I could have gained more ground, more people, built a bigger distribution channel. Because 3 years, 5 years down the road in Africa, when we're a household name, when everybody knows the name of New Age and all the amazing products and all the amazing opportunities of what it's bringing to the people of Africa and all the world around it, you're going to remember this day. You're going to remember this time. And this pre-launch moment for you is a special, special place to be. And so as I turn it back to Tammy, I also want to tell you that you, and we're going to give you a big round of applause, South Africa just experienced its biggest week of growth in its existence with New Age RX. Big congratulations. Way to go. Way to go. This is the start. And I hope it stays in pre-launch for a while, for a long time, so that you can make your distribution channel as big as you possibly can make it. Because the future is so, so bright. Tammy, I'll turn it back to you.
Yes, congratulations, South Africa. You blew the doors off last week. I'll tell you what, biggest week ever for South Africa, and it's only just beginning. And it's growing exponentially. You are all a part of that vision. You are all a part of that family. We are doing this together. We are building this together. Thank you so much, Brent. And I'm actually going to come back to you in a moment, but I just want to, is Brent Willis on? Is he on here? Are you on here, Brent? Do you see him, Brent Palmer? If you are, can you unmute yourself? Sorry, he's texting me right now. So can you stand by, Brent? Hang on, everybody. Let's see. Why don't you share just a minute here, Brent? And I'm going to try to get Brent Willis the Zoom information. I sent it to him in.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. I'll jump right in because as coaches, we just improvise, right? So I want to tell you, congratulations again. Largest week last week of growth for Africa. But I want you to think about this New Age RX movement that you're bringing and this pre-launch opportunity, because I'm going to talk more about right now, because Mark Wilson, the president of this New Age RX movement across the globe, talked about in Fort Worth that one of the things that you will be challenged with, just like when they launched the first iPhone, you will be challenged at some point with some doubt. You will be challenged at some point with being a little scared inside. You'll be challenged with maybe possibly negativity. But I want to encourage you on this, that this pre-launch moment for you and your family and your community and the people around you right now, I want to tell you that you're joined with a group of people like Jimmy, like Frohan and Lindy, like Erika, that understand right now the vision is growth. The vision is just being disruptive, bringing a company and an opportunity to Africa and to people in Africa like they've never witnessed. A disruptive opportunity, an opportunity that has never done business like this before in Africa. That's what we're bringing. And there will be a lot of people that try to make fun, or they try to creep doubt. But let me tell you, you're doing something special, just like Apple did years ago. So we got to think about opportunity, embracing that opportunity. We got to think about change and the ability to be able to change and be flexible, and the strong mentality of staying the course. Staying the course, right, Frohan? I remember the first time I ever got on a Zoom with Frohan and Lindy, and I could look in their eyes and I could see that they were a couple that was built around staying the course. They were built around doing something disruptive and something that had never been done. Well, let me tell you, they're on the course to do that. And they brought a lot of amazing people in with them. And I can assure you, you're with the right company that has your back. And we want to bring something to Africa that is African, that the people can buy into the ownership. They can buy into, this is ours. We created it. Do you realize that so many of you are going to be a part of product launches in the future? You're going to be a part of the taste test crew. You're going to be a part of the people that we communicate with, and we say, we want your input. We want to make this special for the people of Africa. How many of you want to be a part of that? That's the culture of our company. And when Mark Wilson was on stage, that's the things he talked about. He said, we're different. We operate different. Most companies would not bring their CEO on a Zoom right now. They would say, wait, when you get it big, we will bring him. Most companies wouldn't be talking about the person sitting on top of the board of directors thinking about making a visit in sometime in the near future to Africa. We do things different as a company. And those were the things that Mark Wilson injected into us in Fort Worth, Texas. And this is the thing today I'm injecting into you and your team and your people. You can believe in the company, in the products, and most importantly, the leadership that we're going to do this together. So I'm going to turn this back to Tammy because I see that Brent Willis, our CEO, is now on the line.
Oh my goodness. So you're gonna have to help me with this. I'm looking for Brent. Brent, can you unmute yourself? You see him? Do you see him? Does anybody see Brent?
Oops, don't see me.
There he is! Yay! Oh my!
I'm in between Utah and Colorado, which is a trek I make. It's like 8-hour drive. It's the worst. So I got to do it once a week. So.
Well, Brent, first of all, thank you. You are our special secret guest, and you're not a secret by any means, but you are. This is.
I'm like a secret weapon. I'm like a secret weapon, though, Tammy, because nobody knows the ammunition we are going to provide for everybody, so they can kick some big time crushing coconuts to build their business. They don't know the ammunition coming.
Well, spoken as a true former military guy, I love that. Well, Brent, we had the weekend together, and you've got all these beautiful people in South Africa. They had their biggest week ever last week.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the biggest week ever last week, and they are growing exponentially in Namibia and in South Africa. We are taking all of we are taking all of Africa. Thank you very much. But
You got to start somewhere, though, and frankly, South Africa, part of the reason we decided to put the office in Joburg was we knew South Africa was the right hub from which to expand to all of Africa. So you got to start somewhere, and first South Africa, and then, like you said, Namibia. We've also got a foothold in Nigeria, and we're looking at another acquisition, actually, that will bring, you know, a very nice position also in Africa to expand on that base and bring in some cool new products too that we'll be able to sell that are very African centric. So I like everything that's happening there. It's such a great opportunity, and I think the demographics in the continent, especially in the southern cone, are really the right time.
So awesome. So Brent, how important is a pre-launch time? As we're in this pre-launch, not everything has been released. We don't know all about the new products that are coming. It's a pre-launch. We're building up to this time. And when you know, with all your experiences, and you have so many vast wisdom, like, what should people be focused on right now?
I think honestly is learning, right? Figure out and listen to guys like Brent. So he's the smartest Brent on this call today. And I work for him. Tammy will tell you, that guy's good. So listening to guys like that have the experience, that have the knowledge, and learning from them. And one of the things I love about him and you, Tammy, and Erika, is you guys are dedicated to serving others and dedicated to helping them and sharing all your wisdom and knowledge with all of the folks there. So that's step one. Get the learning, get the understanding, understand the products, get real content and real substance behind the products and what's behind them and how they work for people and how good they are. So that's step one, get educated. Step two, also get educated on how to drive this business. What are those keys? And you and Eva and Erika and Brent know really how to drive the business. So that's the second thing, is listen and learn and get coaching. Have them be your mentors, right? So that would be the second thing. And the third thing is start to build the excitement, right? So I would say starting to build out your teams right now is going to be the most important thing you can do, because I actually believe the stock and the stock programs are going to be coming within, you know, less than 90 days. So the faster that you can come out of the gates running, the more benefits you're going to get from that stock. And you want to get the stock as soon as possible before we go buy a whole bunch of other things and add, and the market starts to realize the potential in our business and the stock goes up above $5 or $6. It will still be great then, but it's even greater to get access to it now and then just ride all of that wave up. And long term, it doesn't matter if you're growing from $5 a share to $50 a share versus $2 a share to $50 a share. That's a rounding error. But you know, in the next year to go from 2 to 5 or 2 to 10 or those kinds of things, it's better if you get it in on the ground floor. So I'm excited for everybody to get started. And, you know, like Brent said, I do believe in the leadership of this company, and I'm happy to serve them and work with them. And you have to have all of those things. You have to have great leaders. You have to have great support. You have to have the right culture, and you have to have the right leadership. But when you have all those things together, it's magic, and it's so hard to find. And sometimes you don't recognize it till it's gone. Guess what, guys? We have that now, and I really trust in all of the leadership we have in the company and the vision and the resources we have to make that vision a reality for the benefit of all the reps around the world. So I wish I could just share with everybody. I just can't legally all of the things coming and how what a unique opportunity this is worldwide for us, but especially in the southern cone of Africa, as we're really just getting started in the continent, right? So if you have the courage and you have the will and you have the never say die attitude, everybody in this business will tell you, if you persevere and work through those kind of tough times, initially, or valleys and those kinds of things, boy, the rewards for you would just be fantastic. And I think the rewards in this kind of company, especially with the stock ownership as a fellow owner of this thing, are so much better than any other company I can think of in this industry. And I'm excited. And when Brent says we've got the right leadership, it's not the people, because there's plenty of smart people in companies. It's the right leadership with the right attitude to serve everybody. So, when he says leadership, I feel more burden and more pressure, because that just means I got to work harder for all of you guys. But that's how I define my job, is working for the 450,000 reps we have around the world. So it's a lot of bosses that are very demanding, right? But just think, if you had 450,000 bosses, right? I can't even keep my wife happy or my daughters happy with those 3 bosses I got at home. But it's an honor to serve you. It's a pleasure to serve you. And when Brent talks about the leadership, what that means is we will bend over backwards for you guys to open up new markets, to do whatever it takes to facilitate you. It's like Brent and Tammy and Erika. I appreciate them. I love them. I will carry them up the mountain with me if I have to, but they're the ones leading the charge, and I'm just like in awe of them. And for those of you who don't know, Tammy must have the most awesome shoe and boot collection on the planet, because I saw some of the bling she was wearing this weekend. They're amazing, right? Even with matching belts and matching jackets to go with the stuff she had. So she not only cool shoes, but color coordinated across the entire package, guys. Wait till you get to see how tricked out she is.
Sad but true. Sad but true. Oh my gosh. Well, that was an amazing event. And Brent, thank you so much. I know that. Thank you for sandwiching us in here. The requests on this man, please, ladies and gentlemen on this call, understand hundreds and hundreds of requests every day for him to jump on Zooms. But he has always had an affinity to Africa. And I just want you to tell a little bit. So tell people where you were born, because it's kind of an interesting connection to Africa.
Well, I actually my parents came to the United States to allow me to be born in the U.S. so I could have a U.S. passport. But I'm first generation American, but my father is from Southern Rhodesia, Mount Selinda, which is in the bush, right? So my grandfather was Willis. He was a doctor there and a missionary, and the 13th of 13 kids, so they obviously ran out of names, so they just called him Willis. My grandmother was Mimi Brent, and my grandfather, Thomas Brent, was one of the most famous big game hunters in all of Africa, right? So that's where my name Brent comes from. It comes from both Brent Crude in Scotland, because they really emanate from Scotland. But my dad spent 30 years growing up in Africa, and all my roots are there. So, if I'm a team in Africa and South Africa, to have the CEO, even though that's not a big deal, but to have the CEO come from Africa, and my mother comes from Africa too, right? So she comes from North Africa and Egypt, and they lived in Egypt. She went to school and took a plane to school every day in Saudi, because there were no good schools in Egypt at the time, and then moved to Bahrain. So but if I'm in South Africa and the CEO has this affinity for Africa and roots in Africa and history in Africa and parents both from Africa, that's a pretty cool thing, right? I double down on that kind of situation just because there's a person that understands what you go through, that understands the history and the opportunity and is a kindred spirit with you guys. That's just an extra bonus and gravy on the top, in addition to working with people like you, Tammy, Brent, Eva, and Erika, and the whole team, right? It's just awesome.
Just awesome is right. Thank you for giving us even a little bit more background on that, because I knew there was a love family experiential connection with Africa that you had personally, and I knew it went into your family, but I didn't realize Willis. Boy, that is awesome. That's a fun little tidbit. I mean, seriously, Willis, and he was was he the missionary or the big game hunter?
He was the missionary and he was a doctor. And so, we have all of these gifts from all these people that couldn't afford medical care in the area. So we got some of the weirdest things on the planet, like even like shrunken heads and stuff like that. This is a Papua New Guinea, but believe me, way back in the day in Rhodesia, there were some weird things that happened too, right? So we've got some of the weirdest things.
Truly. We're having a little bit of a connection issue, Brent. We are having a hard time hearing you, Brent. He's going through a pocket, I think. He's driving.
It's interesting.
There it is.
So saddened because we owned the largest hotel. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
You're probably okay. So I was just going to say, when Nasser nationalized the United Arab Republic and it became Egypt, he took everything from my family. And we owned a dock on the Suez Canal, and we owned the largest hotels in downtown Heliopolis, which is like a Manhattan part of Cairo. Now that hotel is Mubarak's presidential palace. So the only thing that we have left is the rug from the foyer of the hotel, and that's the rug in my living room. So it's like a 1920s Iranian, beautiful, like 20 by 15, but that's all we have left. But I can remember the stories from my grandmother when she said she had to convert everything she could into diamonds, sewed those into her sanitary napkins to escape, and then they settled in the south of France, which is where I spent my kind of first 8 or 9 years. So you can't feel too bad for them. But still, there's, what's the lesson, right? We all have trials and tribulation. The key test of success is those people that are willing to persevere, those people that are willing to do what it takes to overcome those obstacles, because we get those obstacles every day in our life, right? So I get them, and frankly, I get faced with easy ways around those obstacles, and I'll just never take them, right? So in our cadet prayer at West Point was a saying that said, choose to live above the common level of life and always choose the harder right versus the easier wrong. And simple live your life, and I want to inculcate those the harder right. And the harder right in this case and in this industry is serve our reps, work to empower them to help them grow their business. So we're dedicated, we're committed to it, and I love that aspect of our firm.
Brent, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Truly, if anybody knows how absolutely remarkable it is that we have our CEO of RX New Age around the world on a Zoom with us this morning, it's no small thing. And then he shares his love and passion for Africa as we do this massive pre-launch of getting people in, getting them started. This is truly, this is going to be the smallest Zoom you ever are on. And this one's almost 100 people. So we know the days are coming where people's lives are going to be changed. They're going to have an opportunity to work a business to better the life of their families, to better their health, a better way. That's what we say. We have hope, trust, and a plan. So thank you, Brent Willis, so much for being with us. I don't know if he's still on or if he jumped off, but Brent Palmer, is there anything else you would like to share as we close out our training call?
Yeah, just a few things. I want to reiterate what Brent Willis said from stage. To all of you in Africa and to the frontier, the pioneers that started this movement. You know, I can remember the first call with Erika.
I got passion for you.
He's jumping in, Brent.
Okay, no, he can go.
What did you say, Brent Willis? I think he said he has a passion for it. Go ahead, Brent.
He absolutely does. And I can remember on stage, you know, he said, what, three things to value here is, number one, we will do this with integrity. Number two, we will do it with accountability. We will communicate with you and you can communicate with us to build this tribe, to build this company. And number three, we will have generosity along the way. We want to share the wealth. We want to share the wealth. We don't want this to be a movement of wealth for a few people. We want it to be a massive movement and wealth for many. As much as the abundance mind will allow us to vision and have the ability to vision, how many people can we spread the generosity with? Those were the things that Brent Willis talked about. And so for you in Africa to just be in this pre-launch moment, I encourage you, this pre-launch, this in my world, it's lock your spot, you know? And so as you're talking to your brothers and sisters, as you're talking to your friends and your family and the people you care most about, this is an investment into your future. This is an investment into your health. This is an investment into your future. But as you paint the vision of change. I talked to Erika about this the other day, and we spent some time, some lovely time, and I love her heart, and I love how much she cares about her people. And as we look at people, let them know that they are the pioneers. Let them know that they're forging a way for the future of the people of Africa. Let them know that as they lock their spot, they're at the top of this movement that will absolutely change. We're going to bring new products to the people of Africa. Okay, so what you have right now will continue to grow and change and develop into something beautiful, a masterpiece. But also the compensation plan is going to change and flourish and beautify, because we want to spread the generosity to the people all over Africa. In order to do that, in order to spread the wealth, in order to spread the generosity, in order to spread health transformations, we have to have the mindset of abundance, the mindset of change, and the mindset of inviting our loved ones to join us. And that's why I go back to the original conversation. Knowing what we know today, if we could go back in time and invite our loved ones to have joined us on the movement of the iPhone when it was the very first one. Today, as they unlaunch iPhone 7,087,000, think about the change. Think about the growth. Think about the wealth that has been created. That's where we're at today with New Age RX. And what I hope you gather is it's not about one product. It's not about one piece of the comp plan. It's not about just South Africa. It's about the vision that this company is going to take this to all of Africa, but it is going to do it with integrity. It is going to do it with accountability. It is going to do it with generosity for the people, and to be able to lock your spot right now and be a part of the pioneer stages is that special moment in time. Frohan, am I making sense, brother? Are you feeling me? Because I have to build trust with you. You have to know that I'm with you on this. You have to know, and that will come over time. That will come over time. Just like I've earned trust with Tammy over time. And just like Tammy's earned trust with Erika over time. We're going to do this together. We're going to do this by linking arms with each other. And I hope you know, by bringing your friends and family and the people you care most about on this journey with you, it is going to be one of the best things that you can give somebody you care most about. Tammy, I'll turn it back to you. If you have anything you want me to add, I'll be happy to. I do want to leave with this, Tammy. And it's wisdom, it's prayer, and it's about leaders. And I believe all of you will resonate with this. I shared it this morning. Wise leaders know that they will reap what they sow. Nature gives man corn, but he must grind it. God gives man a wheel, but he must make the right choices. We're a part of something new there. We're a part of something that was going to be great there. And you and me together are going to sow the seeds, and we're going to affect millions of people's lives because of the start of this movement. So thank you.
Tammy, as ever, Brent. So, I mean, like, really, just pure inspiration, and it's not just words. I've worked with this man 6.5 years. I've seen his tenacity and his willingness to jump in, and I know that we are on the right path. We are on the road to great hope for our families and for thousands and thousands of other families that are still waiting for what we've been blessed to give. So I would like Miss Erika from the Merwe, who pulled this beautiful call together. Her and Eva Baka-Curtins are leading this charge in South Africa. They are doing just a tremendous job in different areas, actually, of South Africa. But Erika, thank you for pulling this call together. And I would just like your last words, or your words to your team, and right now.
Wow. What do I say after Brent Willis and Brent Palmer? What do I say, right? Guys, this morning early, I took my dog for a walk, and you know, if you live in Colorado, you can see the leaves are changing, autumn is not only in the air, it's actually manifesting, right? And I walked into the house and I told Melton, it's chilly outside, the season is changing. And he looked at me and he said, on so many levels, isn't it? And when he said it to me, I immediately thought of this morning Zoom. How beautiful it is when we enter a new season. Yes, I need to wear winter coats instead of, strapless tops, but I'll tell you this, every season is magnificent. And I am deeply encouraged by what is happening with New Age. I can tell you, I have bought into New Age. I visited their offices a few weeks ago. I love Brent Willis's tenacity and his determination. I love his love for Africa. I'm sure all of us on this call is very appreciative of that. But I'll tell you, there's something divine about a new season. And it's truly a new age for Oryx. And I want to encourage my team on this call. Grab that word. Have open hands with the new. Embrace the new. It is going to be incredibly beautiful. And I have a little something that Brent Willis shared with us on his PowerPoint presentation that I wrote down the day when we visited his offices in Denver a few weeks ago. And I'd like to close with that, Tam, and then I'll hand it back to you. But it said, a strong will, which we all have, a strong will, a settled purpose, and invincible determination can accomplish anything. And I want to encourage you with that. I'll read it again. A strong will, a settled purpose, and invincible determination can accomplish anything. So make that your mantra today. And as you head into your week with your business, have a will, have a purpose, and be determined that this is the vehicle. Palmer, for joining and sharing your vision and your insight, Brent. We love you. We really do. And we are blessed to have you on our team. Thank you to Tammy as well. Thank you to Brent Willis. I'm handing over.
Thank you, everyone. Philip, we will be doing a prospecting Zoom coming up on Thursday for South Africa. Stay tuned for the information. We have a very extraordinary lineup of people that will be sharing. One that you have not met, and I met her this weekend, and she just hit CEO in this company, and she is a powerhouse. So this Thursday, make sure that you are inviting people to that Zoom. That's how you grow your business. Let us help you do the work, and we will see you all next time this coming Thursday. Feel free to unmute your phones